Well, good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to say, well, should I say, welcome back to my live. Well, basically, what I have here on the lathe today is a freshly cut piece of British oak. Now, yesterday we turned a piece of dieback ash, which I've got in the workshop just here. And in fact, we made a set really. So we've made a fruit bowl, and we also made more of a decorative bowl really. So, but they kind of go nice together. So I assume this will go as a nice little set. So, but yeah, I was going to say, if you are new to my woodturning lives, I was going to say, I am a woodturner based in Wales. Not that the channel name gives it away or anything. So, but today what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this log into something a bit more decorative rather than using it for firewood. So, I'm going to take a little quick measure at it really, just so I get a good idea how much material I'm working with before actually we get into it. So, we are just, well, let's call that 21 centimeters, 8¼ inches, and again width-wise we've got 3¼ so let's call it 8 by 3. So we're going to lose a bit of material on this as we turn it, but that's all part of the fun. That's all part of the fun. Now I was going to say, I don't want to jump on here and call this a tutorial. It's just a demonstration really for YouTube purposes really, for educational purposes, let's just say that. Because basically, yeah, as I can say, it's not something that you can just jump onto a lathe and start spinning wood around. But today I'm going to start us on minimal speed, so we're on 95 RPM, revolutions per minute. I'm going to stand out the way because basically we just want to see how this wood's going to behave. And like I said, we don't want anything hitting, bouncing, jamming, that kind of thing really. So but what I'm going to do is going to move that out of the way so it's not touching. And again, we're going to just start off again. So if anybody does have any questions, don't forget to leave them in the comments. I was going to say, and I can try and get back and help out as many people as I possibly can. So again, we're going to just gradually build up speed. Now that's 2, 3. Let's go up again, 4. We get up to 5. We can. Okay, so 500 RPM there. So again, what I'm going to do now is just basically clean up the log, try and get some definition going, some kind of shape really. So if you do enjoy the live, don't forget to show some support, and we'll crack on from there. Now oak is definitely nowhere near as tough as British ash. British ash is incredibly dense, it's incredibly hard. So I thought I would go with some British oak today. Oak's very distinctive in its colour and its grain patterns, etc. So, but we'll get into it. I'll talk my way through it as we progress throughout the log really. But if you enjoy the live, like I said, don't forget to show some support to the channel. I've already got one like, we've only just started, but thank you very much, really do appreciate it, thank you. Now that was a rather large piece of bark, because it hit my hand as it was coming off. It's come from here. I'm going to say, can we take the rest of this off? We can. We can. We don't want any more jump scares like that. I'm going to say, where did that piece go? I only clipped my hand. I was going to say, but hi Frank, I was going to say welcome to the live. This is what we don't want. We don't want big chunks coming off because it's scare the life out of you. But again, now I'm prepared for it. There we are. Let's lose all the bark. So okay, that is a lot easier to deal with. And say, so we're not actually dealing with anything jumping off and scaring the life out of me. So 64 people in the room already. Welcome everyone. Right, we'll get this thing spinning. Okay, I'm going to try and speed up, but before I do speed up, I just want to move that arm out of the way because I don't want anything swinging around basically when I've got flying bits of timber. There we are. Okay, we're at 571 revs per minute. Okay. Right, let's crack on. So I had that little break from YouTube and well, from social media, and yeah, it did me the world of good. Did me the world of good. Now at the moment, literally, we're just trying to clean it up at the moment. This big flat edge here, I know that's going to come off. So basically, hi Reg, welcome back to the live, buddy. What am I carving? It's wood turning, Frank. Basically, what I'm turning at the moment, I'm going to turn it from half a log, okay, and I'm going to turn it into something like, oops, into a nice practical decorative little bowl. So I'll talk my way through the process as we go. And yeah, because at the moment I'm just trying to create some form, some shape at the moment, but we're going to end up with something like this. So something a bit practical, something you can chuck your keys in, have some nibbles in there, because all my products that come off this lathe are all coated in food safe finishes. So because once the bowl leaves me, I don't know what it's going to be used for. So yeah, it's always food safe products that go in. So but yeah, I was going to say, but we're going to crack on. But thanks for your question, really appreciate it. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. That's really appreciated. So yeah, what I'm doing, I've been a wood turner for a few years, and I make everything like bowls, platters, vases, key rings, pens, all sorts of stuff. I did a pen the other day, which I showed on my last live. Pens are relatively easy to turn. I say this is made out of a piece of oxidized alder. So, but again, it's a beautiful little gift. So, but yeah, to say. But if anybody does have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll read them as I progress, really. So, but again, we're coming round now. I was going to say, just want to make sure, I want to come on this 45-degree angle, make sure everything is locked and loaded. We don't know, nothing dropping, nothing moving, apart from the wood and my my chisels. So, but yeah, I was going to say, we'll crack on. We'll crack on. Weather here today in Wales is absolutely dismal. It's really damp, miserable, rainy. It's not the weather you expect for May, but we can't have it all, can we? Right. Just gently. Hi James. Hi James. Welcome to the live, buddy. I was going to say, if you do enjoy the content, you do enjoy my wood turning kind of stuff, or my little bit of banter as I'm turning wood, don't forget to think about considering subscribing to the channel. Why does it sound angry? Usually when I receive the wood, it goes into a shed, it goes into dry, and the drier it gets, the more seasoned it becomes, and the more seasoned it becomes, the more harder it gets. Like I said, I did a piece the other day of dieback ash. That stuff was rock hard. Rock hard. It's mad. Yeah, it is mad. I'm going to say it's good fun though. It's good fun. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come around this corner here, and I'm going to sweep around, okay? Come around. Again, it kind of looks round at the moment, okay? It does look round, but as I work on it, okay, as I work on this piece, it'll go like an oval, okay, and then it'll go from oval to round. So, but at the moment, you can see these corners now, they're not flat now, okay? Because I'm creating this sweep, okay, like the sweep of a bowl. So, and the more definition I can create at this point, the prettier the piece will. You've already subscribed. I know you have, Reg. Thank you very much. And Frank, thank you very much. Really appreciate that, guys. It's really kind of you. Really kind of you. So yeah, we're just literally just working around it at the moment. And as you can see with oak, it has two colour variations in it. It's not like ash, where it's got this beautiful grain. Ash is, well, not ash, oak. You have this white oak, okay? And then basically the darker tan is where the heart of the oak is, okay? So basically this is what makes oak very distinctive, very easy to stand out, really. So I am looking at this little inclusion here, this little hole. Let's hope it's not running all the way through, okay? Let's hope it's not running all the way through. But again, it's going to say, we're going to keep cracking on. It's going to say it won't turn itself. And but yeah, we'll try and tackle these corners like we did yesterday. It's going to say, but at the moment, it's not going to be a huge piece. It's going to be more like a consort bowl, is what we call it. And a consort bowl is basically like a small bowl, something you can just chuck your keys in, like some sweets, some candy or something, you know, something you can just leave on the side. Maybe even herbs and spices, that kind of thing. It's nothing massive, but it all depends on, the bigger the wood, the bigger the thing that comes off it really. So, but we'll crack on. Hi there, buddy. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Somebody said to me the other day on the live saying that they don't like to ask stupid questions, and I don't believe there's any such thing as a stupid question, because it's yeah, it's all part of that process of learning. So no matter kind of how silly the question may be, you know what I mean, you can always stick it in the comments. It makes the live a bit more engaging, you know. Yeah, and if it's related to wood turning, you know, I can try and help out as many people as I can, kind of thing. So like I said, I've got that sweep now. Okay, I've got the sweep now for these. Okay, these aren't going to be a problem. So like I said, little push cut now from either side, and hopefully we'll remove them. I'm looking for, I don't want to go dead centre because I don't want to remove all of this, okay, because we've cleaned that up already, okay, when we're doing this, okay. So what I'd like to do is come literally about a third of the way out. And as we're coming round, see, starting to create that shape now, and create that tenon just like that, okay, just like that. See how oak cuts a lot easier than ash, you know, a lot easier. Right, okay, these are getting much smaller already. That was very, very quick. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. Right. This is where I need to be careful, because obviously the screws are running into the piece, okay? So let me just grab my little pokey stick, if I can find it. Precision screwdriver, that'll be fine. Anything thin enough, okay? And when we dig in there, it'll give me a good indication, a good idea of how deep that is, okay? Because sometimes you can keep going and going and going and going at it, and all of a sudden you realise it's running 3/4 of the way through, which is a bit of a pain. So again, I will remove it. I'm not going to keep it there. It's not very appealing. I can say, because you pick up a bowl and you're kind of like, well, that's pretty. And they turn it around, there's a hole inside of it. So it's like, well, it'll be in the bottom. So what I'm going to have to do is take this tenon away, sweep back around with some quite tricky cuts, but we will remove this, okay? I just hope there isn't any more. No, it's just this one. So one day I was turning a big log, huge log on the lathe, and then all of a sudden it kind of like I was turning it, and I thought I'll stop. And I thought, oh, there's a little hole there. So I got the precision screwdriver out, and as I went to kind of go and kind of dig it out to see how deep it was, the spider came out. I was like, how on earth are you still clinging on with it, spinning around? I was going to say watching it spin. Going to say, but yeah, it's great wood turning. It is a challenge. It's something that like I said, every single piece always teaches me something. You know, every single piece, whether or not that's tool placement or technique or something along the lines of that. Let's take the tenon away. And the reason why I'm taking that tenon away is because I need to come back around like this, you see. Back no, we're not, we're going to push cut it. Did remove quite a lot of timber there, okay, quite a lot. So what I want to make sure, right, I'm on the surface of it. I'm literally on the surface of it right there. I can actually see how deep it is now. I don't need a precision screwdriver, so I'm coming in this way, okay, push cut away from me to get rid of that hole. Could have chosen a better piece of wood to start turning, but these things happen. And got rid of it, okay, go on. Thank goodness for that, thank goodness for that. I was going to say, it's sometimes they can go really deep into the piece, so it can be quite tricky to get rid of them sometimes. So but I'm glad that's gone. I'm so glad that's gone. So what I'm going to do, because this 1/2 inch bowl gouge is removing rather a lot of the timber for my liking on such a small piece, so I'm going to get back to my 3/8 bowl gouge, okay, my smaller one, more for finishing cuts. But again, you can say it won't be so aggressive, okay. So now the object is to basically get that tenon on there. I'm probably not going to put a foot on this because I don't want to waste too much material. So again, I want to take this little top area here off, okay, and I should want to have on the opposite side here, yeah. So I've got one there and there. So quick push cut, get rid of that, put the tenon on, flip it, sand it, well, hollow it, sand it. What am I going to make next? I can make a pen, I can make vase. I want to delve into some epoxy, that kind of thing really, and have an experiment there. Yeah, I was going to say, there's so many different things they make on the lathe. Platters, which is like a very large plate. Yeah, I was going to say, whatever kind of takes my fancy really. Ratty, let's call you Ratty. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. All right. So I'm looking for. Looking at that, then I was thinking, did I get rid of it? I did, yeah. 10 likes already. Thank you so much. It's really kind of you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thing is on woodturning is not to rush. It's not that you start rushing around and stuff like that. That's when you make mistakes, and that's when you can have accidents and get hurt. Yeah. dovetail that. Move that out of the way a tad. Not a massive piece, but I quite like the shape of it. Just scuffing the outside basically, so I get a nice smoother finish really. I will attack it at the very end when I do sand it, but it was just to give myself a good indication, a good idea of where we are. There's nothing worse when you catch it and it's still quite coarse, it's still quite rough. So, there we are. Trying to get to 4,000 subscribers, so if you want to join me on my journey, then you know what to do. Thumbs up and all that kind of stuff really helps me out. It's kind of like it just tells the algorithm, I think, on YouTube, hey, everyone's watching Dan's stuff, let's show it to more people. So, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I was going to say, in fact, let me get my bowl scraper, because what I'd like to do is, there's a couple of tool marks in there, not tool marks, but a couple of lines, they're not deep enough to be tool marks. And I can just take them out using this one that looks like a big butter knife, okay? Right, let's go again. Hi Robert, welcome to the live buddy, welcome to the live. One day I was turning a bowl, bowls are one of my favourite things to turn, and literally I was kind of like getting into some kind of shape and some form, and I thought it was going great. I thought it was going great. And then literally as I flipped it around to hollow it out, the bowl exploded on the lathe while it was running about 800 RPM. And luckily I had my face shield on, because that could have left a mark. But yeah, and I picked up the piece and I kind of put it back together. And I couldn't tell why it exploded. Not until I literally paid close attention to it. And when I paid really close attention, I realised it's what we call a hairline fracture. A bit like when you break a bone and they can't find the break. It's usually a very, very faint fracture. And there was a faint fracture. And where it was running literally right the way through the piece. And it wasn't on the surface, it was internal. And yeah, it was a bit of a problem because there was no way that was going back on the lathe. So, but we've got our shape, okay? Like I said, a small bowl. It's going to take not long to hollow this out. So again, let's get that tenon in the jaws. Don't over tighten. Get the drill driver. Yeah. Get that out of there. Get out there. And you'll see some wood turners, they use much bigger face plates than me, and they'll probably put about 800 screws in. No, but about 10 screws in, but the more screws, the bigger the piece. Obviously you need more support. So my face plate isn't massive, but it's big enough to hold some rather large heavy pieces of timber. So again, I'll get that up just on the centre, pop that down, and again let's clear some space. Right, now what I've got here, this area here, the thing is it runs round this corner, okay, and it's only running in by probably a couple of mil. So again, clean this face up now. I was going to say, clean it up, get it nice and clean. Now one thing with oak, what you've got to be careful of, I don't know if you can start to see it, this area here, when you're dealing with big pieces of oak, it can turn your hands black. It's going to say because there's tannins in oak, and literally when you start mostly cutting through it, it releases the tannins and it makes your hands black, which is a bit of a pain to get off your hands. So we're going to crack on. Get to speed, running at 870 RPM. Made to sharpen as well. Cutting, just about. Let's sharpen it. Give me 2 ticks. Give me 2 ticks, we'll get this thing sharp. It takes literally 10 seconds, if that. Yeah, nice and sharp, okay? Very, very sharp. There we are. Tell me what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go straight in for hollowing, because that piece on the end there, what I was talking about, I can remove that a bit later on. Nope, we're too low. We're too low. See me slip then, okay? It's because I'm trying to kind of get a cut on it, but my gouge is too low. So one way to do that is just bring your tool rest up just a smidgen. Just a smidge. There we are. Reg, I went on a school trip yesterday, bowling, and someone got their hands stuck in the ball return. Oh, no way, no way. I'm going to say, I quite like bowling. I'm going to say, did you have fun, Reg? Unfortunately, we don't have a bowling alley where I am here in Wales. So we've got mountains, we've got rivers and lakes and forests, but we don't have bowling alleys. And we've got a very, very old-fashioned cinema, so which is great. Actually, do you know what got me into wood turning? Lockdown. COVID days. And that's what got me into wood turning. Hi, Mamati. Mamat. Sorry, my pronunciation of some names is probably terrible, but I apologise. I'll stop there a minute because what I want to do is just check. See these ribbons? This is what we're looking for, okay? That bit on the side, which is there. See this area? Not massive, but it's annoying. So I'm gonna have to take that out. It's gonna make the walls a little bit shorter, but like I said, I'm only making a little dish. So, and a lot of these little dishes end up in my kitchen and get used to all sorts of bits and pieces. So, all right, let me just take this back because what I want to do is look for, no, I'm in fact, I'm going to use my 3/8 bowl punch for this because it'll take me 2 minutes. Literally on it, just like a little nip, like a nick in the wood, which is really annoying. Really annoying. So we'll crack on. We will crack on. What it's doing, it's making the rim even fatter. So I don't mind a big fat rim, but not on a dish. That's better. That's better. I was came into the workshop today. Oops. As I came into the workshop today, one of the dogs was literally just trying to get in here, and she's got a bit of a thing about sawdust, and yeah, as soon as she sees it, she just wants to go lying in it, and luckily I got her out of it just in time, because at the moment the floor in here is literally covered in sawdust. It's more like a hamster cage. She was dying to get in here, and I was like, out you go. Because what she does, she'll walk in here, lay in it all, and then walk outside, and then take it all over the place. And I go back into the house, and it's literally absolutely covered everywhere. Just being very gentle here. I don't want to go through the bottom of it, that'd be disastrous. What they class these as is what they call finishing cuts, just so you get a really nice piece. So let's move that out of the way. Let's get my gun. Right, get gun out. Press the gun. Alright, let's start sanding it. I'm going to slow down. Don't fancy breaking my fingers. Put that mask on. Tube 6. There we are. That's better. Lovely and smooth now. Lovely and smooth. Hi friends. I'm going to go live quite a lot recently because just to get my numbers back up because they plummeted. I went right downhill. There we are, lovely and smooth. Go all around. Right. Get rid of this stuff. Going to go on with the sanding sealer in a minute. Just a water-based shellac, so it'll evaporate in no time. Now that'll evaporate in no time at all. Because it's water-based, you know, it dries very, very quickly. Just feeling for any imperfections, you know, anything that stands out, lumps, bumps, annoying areas, raised areas, but no, completely smooth. Completely smooth. Right. That's dry? Yeah, dry. Alright, what I'm going to do, some isopropyl, some alcohol, not the alcohol you think of. Clean that up. There we are. Like I said, it's not a massive piece, it's just one of those kind of bowls that you just throw stuff in. Hi Frank. Yeah, isopropyl, it raises the grain of the wood and cleans it at the same time. What I'm going to do, I'm going with a bit of beeswax, okay? There, get a clean rag. Clean little rag, nothing too big. 17 likes, thank you very, very, very much. Very, very much. Now beeswax goes quite a long way. Just takes a bit to buffer it in. It's got the consistency of like butter. What I'd like to do now is speed up. And butter it in. And there we are. Just being very, very careful. What I'd like to do is take that mask off. Take a quick look at it. Well, isn't that interesting? I was going to say, very interesting. So I shall show you very shortly. See, this is what I'm looking for, this sweep, you see. Should feel incredibly soft. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this in reverse. So now I can buffer it, running the other way. Okay, 6 1/4 inches across. I knew it wasn't going to be a huge piece because we had that initial issue with that hole in the wood. So we are literally, oh, 6 1/4 inches across, and we are 2 inches, 6 inches by 2 inches. So it's more like a dish rather than a bowl. I should have taken this all out, but if I did, it would have ended up more like a saucer. But again, it's quite pretty because you've got the heart of the wood literally coming through the other side. Okay, and as you come round, it gets to the white oak, and then back to the heart of the wood again. But again, it's a beautiful type of timber to work with. I love working with oak. It's really, really distinctive, really pretty wood. So again, you could use this for your car keys. You could just chuck some snacks or to go and kind of sit down and literally just have, watch a bit of telly, that kind of thing. You can use it for all sorts. I was going to say, now I've used it with beeswax, you know, it's it'll probably have a few coats of it sometimes if I do have the time, I do get this chuck out, okay? And what this chuck does, if I can get it in place, open those jaws up, because it's already got a tenon on the back, metal tenon, okay? And what we can do here is put that in the chuck, okay? And this is the thing we want to tighten up, okay? And the bowl will sit here, okay? And if I can turn it, if it will let me, because there's that many pegs on it, it's a bit of a pain. It's a bit of a pain when it wants to be. It's got a long way of chuck. And if it'll let me, it will. And then basically just do them all back up, okay? Do them all back up. You don't do them up one by one by one by one by one. You've got to do it like a car tyre. So you do it kind of a bit like a star, from one area to the next, to the next, to the next. But you should never do them up all in the same area. And the reason why I've got this, so, and apologies if you can hear my dogs, I was going to say they have a tendency to bark, as dogs do. So as I do that, tighten this up. Now this chuck, you should never ever run it above 600 RPM, never. And there's a reason for that. It's because if the bowl comes flying out of there at over 600 RPM and hits me, well, it's going to leave a mark, okay? So, and this is how I remove this tenon, okay? And so it's just like literally when I'm cleaning the face up, okay? Just want to go around, want to make sure, there's always one. There's always one. So come around, and these little bungs here, they start tapering in, literally. It locks onto the bowl, so it doesn't go anywhere. I could saw it off, but then that's not very tidy. Just want to ensure they're all nice and snug. Like I said, I don't fancy a frisbee coming flying through the room. So, and it's one of the things that used to bug me for a long time, trying to take the tenon off. And I was learning, you know, because like I said, there's a process to everything. So, and what I do, let me just move the tape measure out of the way. This comes back in, okay? Up. Just a tad, bring that speed way down, 551. So again, and you just literally turn it off. And the amount of bowls I've got in this workshop basically where I'm sitting there with the tenon still on, because I always wonder, shall I leave it on and then come back to it? Nah, just get rid of it. One thing you've got to be very careful of with these pegs, you get your hands too close to it, and believe you me, it's happened before, and it's only happened once, and never let it happen again, because it's enough to break your fingers. And what you've got to be careful of is not to go through the bottom, because we've created that depth from the other side. So just want to ensure we don't completely wreck the piece. Taking time. And there we are, tenon is gone, okay? That piece will not be revisiting the lathe. So again, I'm just going to take out another piece of coarse sandpaper and something to protect my fingers, because I don't fancy getting my fingers snapped off. So support my wrist. And speed up just a little bit, but not much. keeping it under 600. And the reason I'm supporting my hand, because I don't want my hand to start drifting around the bowl. Those pegs hurt. Yeah, we'll just nip it with a bit of 120. See him wobbling around there. Did I get it all? No, I didn't. Right, apologies. Apologies. Can't be having this, because when somebody picks up one of my pieces, the first thing they do is they turn it around and look at the bottom of it. Don't know why, but they do. Somebody says to me once in my life, the only reason that I subscribe to you, Dan, see if you make a mistake. I said, well, sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. And that's the thing with going live. Not everything goes to plan. Not every time. So mistakes can happen. They do happen. It's like with anything really. It's just about trying to minimise risk. So right, that should do it. I think that's done it. You don't put your hands on the back because there's wing nuts. You don't put them on the front because there's these bits. You just don't want to get your hands caught anywhere near anything like that. That was close. That was very, very close. I'm not supporting my hand. There we are. There we are. I'm not taking my chances with that chuck. Definitely not. Again, tiny little rag. Tiny bit of beeswax, just to take it back into uniform with the rest of the bowl. And it's much cleaner now. It's much, much cleaner. Don't worry, I've still got all my digits. I was going to say, it's the amount of times I've come close to this lathe is just basically just, this chuck is great, but that's the only letdown with it. You can get caught by those pegs. Somebody will say to me, why don't you do this when it's stopped? Because I like to do it while it's spinning so I can buffer it. There we are. There we are. Completely clean. Completely clean. So, apologies for the couple of mistakes there. Like I said, they do happen. They do happen. I'm just taking these. Don't need to undo them all. I'm going to say just to loosen them. I've got some coal jaws in here as well, very similar, but I don't get on with them because of the sole fact that you've got to take the chuck apart and everything. So, but there we are. There's no foot, there's no tenon, but we created our nice little pretty dish of oak. I was going to say, and that will probably end up in the kitchen, only for the sole reason I didn't take that out. So, but yeah, it could be used for all sorts. But I'm going to love yous and leave yous, but the 24 still watching, thanks for sticking with me. Say I eventually get there. I was going to say, and but if you're not subscribed, don't forget to show some support, show me some love, drop me a thumbs up, that kind of thing really, and hopefully I shall see you all back in the next one. But thanks for the questions, the love, the likes, the subs, all that kind of stuff, and hopefully I shall see you all back in the next one. But thanks for watching YouTube. Take care everyone, have a good day, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world, and I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care everyone.